Hello everyone. So today we're going to look at different types of pet drawings from students in the past, and we're going to look at the difference between a high level drawing, a medium drawing, and a low level drawing. Now I don't want you to get all nervous because we're going to talk about different ways to boost up everyone's project regardless of where your drawing is at currently. So what are we doing? Everyone has the opportunity to make their drawing better and push them to the next level. Many times we just don't know how to do that. We are going to be looking at artwork from previous years to talk about the ways to improve and take your image to the next level. It is okay if your artwork falls in the lower or medium range. The point of this discussion is to show that everyone is capable of improving their artwork no matter their drawing abilities. All right, we are going to start with these two images first. So I categorized these as lower level. So I want you to take a look and kind of try to figure out why might Miss Salatino have put these in the lower level of drawing. They're not bad, that doesn't mean they're bad, but they lack certain things to get them up to where I want them to be. So just take a minute. We're going to talk about it in a moment with why I consider a lower level and how to get it to the next step up in the next stage. All right, so let's talk about why I consider this a lower level drawing. Okay, so the first thing is there's not a whole lot of value, especially with the top one. It all has this kind of same shade of gray. There's a few, pops of the dark, but really there's not a whole lot of contrast. Next, both of these drawings are heavily outlined. When you outline an image and you put a really dark outline around something, what that does is it's automatically going to flatten and make your drawing look more cartoonish. Instead, what you want to do is you want to have two different value scales and different value forms next to one another. And that will automatically create that edge. So you can kind of see it with that top dog there with the background. So they did do that nicely. So you have the background that's a little bit darker, and then you have that edge to the dog kind of near the snout where you can see that the two different, value tones automatically creates that edge. The one on the bottom with the little beagle, the background is blank, and also the shading is kind of sloppy, meaning it's going in multiple directions and it's not just going in one direction smoothly. Okay, so why do you think that these two are considered medium level? All right, so think about it. What is it a little bit different from the last one? Okay, so the reason that these are medium level is there is a wider range of values. So they have the bright highlights, they have the in-between grays, the soft grays, the medium grays, the dark grays, and the dark blacks. Some of these images still have that dark outline. Again, you can fix that. Everything is fixable. So one thing that these students could do was they could either, make the pencil darker to kind of eliminate it, or make it look like the line has disappeared, kind of match that line, or they could erase it and lighten it. The one to the right is kind of chunky. You can still see the grid. It doesn't, the image, the overall drawing doesn't flow smoothly. It looks like it's kind of pixelated. And last but not least, the shading isn't consistent. Again, we might have some of that sloppy shading where it's going in multiple directions. All right, so we're just going to look at the two side by side just so you guys can get a good idea. So again, what sets these two different drawing levels apart? How could you boost the lower level drawing to a medium one? Because it's totally possible. All of these drawings, everyone's drawing is capable of being bumped up to the next level. So there's definitely things that we could, have told these artists to do to help bump it up to the next level. All right, so let's talk about some of those things that on how to improve. If you do have a lower level drawing, how can we bump it up to a medium level? All right, so first of all, we said that there wasn't enough value. It was little value, so it was all the same shade of gray. You could go back and add in more value. It was heavily outlined. You could erase the outlines. You could use different values as the edge. The other one I was referring to, the background was blank, so you could add in a background. And then the shading is sloppy. Go back over it in one direction. Try to camouflage it so that's all going in one direction. Everything is fixable. All right, so here are two fantastic works. These I would consider high level. So I want you to take a look and really think and maybe talk about why would Miss Salatino categorize these as high level? All right, so here are the reasons that Miss Salatino considers these drawings higher level. So there's a wide range of values. You've got those beautiful white highlights. You have the soft grays, the medium grays, and then the dark black areas. You always want to make two things pop. You want to make those highlights pop and the shadows pop, and that's going to make your drawing look much more realistic. These artists did not outline. They used different values to create an edge. So take a look at the dog on the right-hand side, especially like towards the snout. The background is one color, and then the snout of the dog is a lighter color, and that's automatically going to create that edge. You don't have to put in a thick, dark outline to indicate that that's an edge. We automatically, our brains are able to figure that out. There is no grid showing, so the students did a really nice job to erase the grids before they started shading, or they just made sure to add enough value that you couldn't see the grid anymore. These drawings also have smooth blending. The shading is consistent. It's going in one direction, and if they do need to change direction, they did it, smoothly where it doesn't look scribbly. And the artist used directional shading to create the illusion of form. So if they were, for example, take a look at the dog on the right-hand side. In order to create that forehead kind of look, you can see how the artist started to, shape and kind of curve their pencil lines to create that illusion that the dog's head is, round. It's not flat. All right, so like I said, everything is fixable regardless of your talent level. Okay, so how could we, beef up this medium drawing to the left of this little puppy dog here? It's a great drawing. It has great bones, but it's not quite at the high level yet. But there's certainly things we can do to get it up there. So what are some things that we could do to move this drawing from a medium level drawing to a high level drawing? Okay, so there's a few things you can do. We can add a wider range of values. So we could, put in some more grays, some lighter grays to really make sure those areas pop. Again, you want to make the shadows pop and your highlights pop. Next, the drawing has some outlines. So we need to either do one of two things. We either need to erase the dark outline around like the foot, for example, or we need to just match the tone. So what I probably would tell this student to do is instead of having that dark outline around that back foot kind of in the lower right hand corner, put some value in the background and let those two different tones create that edge. Another thing that we have to do is you can still see the grid. It's very chunky, very boxy. So I would tell this student to go back over and shade the entire thing. Don't just do it one box at a time, but flow over the entire thing. So on the back, hind legs, have it all flow together. Same thing with the face. Maybe even go back and erase some of that grid as well so that it's all smooth. All right, so I hope that you guys, learned something here. If you take away anything, I want you to understand that regardless of where your drawing is, even if it is, a weaker drawing, we can improve it to be, a medium level drawing. I just want you to try to boost it to the next level. So everyone is able to improve their drawing regardless of how, good of an artist you think you are. All right. So if you feel like you're not very good at drawing, guess what? You can still do some things to make this stronger so that you are a pretty decent artist. Okay. So take some of these suggestions and please apply it to your drawings.